What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, daily news, pretty much everything going on here in our economy in Washington, D.C., money, investing, the stock market, inflation, pretty much everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Remember that new videos come out here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Also, in this video, I'm going to tell you about a $500 stimulus check that for some people, if they didn't claim it this year, didn't get it this year, this will be your last chance to claim it. So I will go over that in this video. Okay, late last night, the Senate passed another procedural step on the debt limit or the debt ceiling to prevent our country from defaulting. That's right, here's the details. As you can see here, Senate actually passes the bill this time to avoid the filibuster on the debt ceiling hike. Yay! Round of applause here. There's actually another step after this. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of work they have to do to get this done. But they're doing it. They're actually doing it here. So congratulations actually on the bipartisanship here. Republicans and Democrats working together, which actually we'll get to here in a second. It's actually some irony there, but we'll get to that here in a second. Okay, the Senate voted again on Thursday night to approve a one-time exemption to bypass the filibuster and raise the debt ceiling, capping off a months-long fight over the nation's borrowing limit. Remember the first vote yesterday around 1 p.m. got 64 votes, and it had, I think, 14 Republicans that voted with it and 50 Democrats. This time, senators passed it with 59 votes. Remember, they only needed a simple majority here. Okay, this got 59 votes and passed. Don't worry, it didn't need 60 votes here. I know that 59 votes looks a little bit daunting there. But it did pass with 59 votes and 35 no's on the legislation, which also prevents cuts to Medicare. Okay. 10 Republican senators voted with the Democrats to pass the legislation. I think that there was maybe one Democrat that didn't vote, which is why there wasn't 60 votes there, because there was 10 Republicans that voted yes. Republican Senators Joni Ernst from Iowa and Roger Wicker from Mississippi, who helped advance the bill earlier, voted against it on Thursday night. But this bill passed. The bill cleared the House earlier this week and now goes to President Biden's desk. Once he signs it, though, the Democrats will be able to bring it up again. This is where it gets kind of procedural and kind of confusing here. The Democrats will bring it up again and pass the debt limit or the debt ceiling and increase it with only a simple majority vote instead of the normal 60 votes needed for most legislation. Quote, "This is the responsible path forward. No brinksmanship, no default on the debt, no risk of another recession." Hallelujah. We still have a few more steps to take before we completely resolve the matter, but I'm optimistic that after today's vote, we will be on a glide path to avoid a catastrophic default, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said on Thursday. Democrats haven't yet said how much they will increase the nation's borrowing limit on. They will still need to specify a number in the debt ceiling bill. It's expected to be at least $2 trillion. It's expected to be at least $2 trillion raising the debt limit, and they're expected to extend it until after the midterm elections, which is November 2022. So they're going to extend it by almost a year. So basically about a year. I personally think they should extend it longer than that or get rid of the debt limit. But I guess that will be a battle for another day. It's exhausting to think that they're going to do this again in 11 months. Can you believe we're going to do this again in 11 months? But nonetheless, it just kind of makes you wonder why they don't just get rid of the debt limit. But I guess we'll live to fight that battle another day. I know. Just like, are we really going to do this again? It's like the government shutdown bill. They do it every single year. It's like, really? Really going to do this every single year? All right. Democrats are expected to pass the debt ceiling bill before December 15th, which is now only 5 days away. So 4 days away because they have to do it before then. When Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has told Congress they need to act in order to keep the government solvent. Under the agreement struck by Schumer and Mitch McConnell and passed on Thursday, the president still needs to sign it. They will need to have up to 10 hours of debate before they can pass the legislation to increase the debt limit. Democrats will need to pass the debt ceiling on their own, with no Republicans expected to support the legislation in the final vote. So they still got a little bit of work to do. But honestly, I congratulate them. Democrats and Republicans came together. This was largely Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer that stepped up, became adults, and prevented our government from defaulting. They both set aside their differences and did what needed to be done for the good of our country. And I mean, what was the other option? Let our country default and everybody suffers. We go into recession. We see the stock market collapse, which literally like 50% or more of Americans have money in the market now. The stock market has people's pensions, people's 401ks, and a lot of people are just in the stock market with just their savings now at this point. I mean, it's so easy to just buy stocks now. You just go on an app, you go on Vanguard, you go on Fidelity, you go on stock trading platforms, and people just put their savings in there now, or even with cryptocurrency. And I mean, people's 401ks and pensions are literally in the stock market. So who wants to see that fall? And not only that, even if you don't have money in the market, people's jobs are tied to the stock market now. The first thing that happens if we see a recession, what do companies do? They start cutting costs, they start laying off employees. Nobody wants to see the stock market collapse, even if you don't have money in the stock market. It's just not good for anybody, it's not good for the economy. Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell did the responsible thing. Well, then that kind of leads us here to this thing. Check this out. Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican, warns the GOP, the Republican Party, about former President Donald Trump's wrath on the debt vote. Check this out. Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican from South Carolina, offered a forceful warning to Republican colleagues during a private lunch on Wednesday, saying former President Donald Trump will come down hard on any Republican senators who vote with or vote for Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's deal to set up a pathway to raise the debt limit. In blunt remarks to the Senate Republican conference, Graham harshly criticized McConnell for putting the Senate Republicans to get shot in the back over the deal. Graham told colleagues that McConnell had, quote, led them on a charge up a hill and they were getting shot in the back, according to the senator. Graham says, I think this is a mistake, but we'll see what happens. We've been telling our Republican base for months, Democrats are spending money by themselves. They should raise the debt ceiling by themselves through reconciliation. He added, it's pretty obvious to me that we will not be received well by Republican faithful, including Donald Trump. And Donald Trump said that Mitch McConnell just folded on the debt ceiling, a total victory for Democrats, and didn't use it to kill the, quote, $5 trillion real number Build Back Worse bill that will essentially change the fabric of our country forever, and called Mitch McConnell the old crow is a disaster. I don't get this. We literally have 4 days until the country defaults. The process isn't even done yet. The president has to sign it. They have to go back to the Senate. They have to have 10 hours of debate. They have to vote on another bill. The Democrats still have to pass that on their own. It's still a process that hasn't even been finalized yet. And there's still literally a matter of a few days left What were we gonna do here? Like wait until the last minute and then potentially see a default? We can't let the country default. Like I get that President Trump, former President Trump, wants to have the worst things happen for current President Biden. I get that they're mortal enemies, right? And like Trump wants to see the worst things happen for Biden because that would be good for Trump. And I get that there's probably going to be a rematch of the two for the next presidency. That's the most likely thing. Of course, anything could happen. They're both, really old, and who knows what could happen with either their health or anything like that, or, you know, with either their candidacies, right? And I get that Trump just wants to have the worst happen for Biden. And if the country actually defaults, that could actually be good for Trump's rematch, right? But that's not good for the rest of us. That's not good for the country. If the country defaults and everything goes catastrophic, like the only good person that's good for is Trump, because that makes Trump look good and Biden look bad. Like that's not good for anybody else, right? Am I the only one seeing this the right way? Nobody else wants the country to default. Nobody else. The only other person that would be good for is the person running against Biden for presidency. I hope everybody else sees that point of view, because I don't think a lot of people really understand that. Like the only person that would be good for is the person running against President Biden for president. Just my point of view on that, because it's crazy. It's crazy. We can't let the country default, guys. Mitch McConnell actually stepped up and did what needed to be done. And I consider him the right thing to do as a Republican. And I understand the Republicans aren't in control right now, but he actually did the right thing. And I think Chuck Schumer did the right thing too, by thanking the Republicans and doing what needed to do and not strong arming them. I understand the Democrats are in power, and I think that both parties did the right thing to do. Because God forbid we can't have our seniors not get Social Security payments. And God forbid we can't have the country default. And God forbid we can't tell the world that we're the strongest country in the world, but we can't pay our bills. You let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, the process isn't even done yet. The process isn't even done yet. Okay, next up, let's talk about this article here. Thousands of Americans are still owed stimulus payments. As you can see here in this article, take actions now to get up to $500 for Christmas. Okay. This applies to those eligible for Maryland's Relief Act. Yeah, this is for the state of Maryland passed a $300 to $500 stimulus check earlier this year. And apparently there's many thousands of people that didn't get it. And if you didn't get it, you can still get it here. And they actually set up a phone number you can call to get it if you're from the state of Maryland. Okay. If you've been watching the show, there's literally on a weekly basis all these different states, cities, and counties, and all these different stimulus programs literally going on here all the time. Right now, there's California sending out stimulus checks, Maryland sending out stimulus checks, Illinois is considering $200 to $400 stimulus checks right now. Tennessee just announced a $950 stimulus check for families with children, which is actually just a small amount of their money. I think Tennessee is probably going to have much more coming out here in the future. But Maryland sent them out earlier this year, and if you didn't get it, you can still get it. Check this out. Eligible Maryland residents who haven't received a stimulus check need to contact the state. The stimulus checks are worth $300 per individual, while families can get up to $500 in aid. A total of 422,000 Maryland residents were eligible to receive the state payments, with 98% of them receiving payments in February, according to the Comptroller's Office. The payments are only available to those who claimed the Earned Income Tax Credit on their 2019 tax returns. Why haven't you received a check? As long as you meet those requirements and you haven't received a payment, you could be owed a check. If you had a routing number on file, the state sent those funds via direct deposit. If that was undeliverable, the payments were sent to the address on file, and you might still be owed a check. If you believe you're owed a stimulus check, you can get in touch with the state by calling this phone number, 1-800-MD taxes, TAXES, which comes out to the phone number 1-800-638-2937. So if you're from the state of Maryland, you think you qualify for that, it's 1-800-638-2937. Once you verify your information and update your address, the checks are issued immediately, the spokesperson said. Another big issue they're working on right now with the stimulus package is Joe Manchin. And Joe Manchin right now is going to be one of the big keys going forward to the passage of this stimulus package. One of the really, really big keys to this package. Because remember, they need every single vote with this stimulus package on the federal package. Remember, the federal package is one piece of stimulus going forward, okay? We have the stimulus package, the Build Back Better package. But remember, we really have all these states passing stimulus checks, counties, cities doing it. We have universal basic income, guaranteed basic income, which is popping up all sorts of cities as well. We have rent assistance, which is absolutely one of the best ways to get assistance as well. We have utility assistance, $500 to $1,500 as well. I have literally had probably tens of thousands of viewers get rent assistance and utility assistance. We have homeowners assistance as well, $9.9 billion, and internet assistance from the website getemergencybroadband.org. Literally thousands of viewers have gotten that as well. And there's going to be all sorts of programs like this as well going forward. I'll keep you up to date as I find more programs, as I find more states, all sorts of things like this. I'll keep you up to date as well. There's the federal stimulus program. And then there's going to be another stimulus package after that as well. I'm going to keep you up to date on all sorts of things like this. Of course, there's the Social Security 5.9% COLA raise going into effect for 2022 for your January payments and every month going forward. That's an ongoing thing. So that goes into effect in perpetuity. So 5.9% raise forever. So basically every single month in 2022, and then you get it 5.9% every month for 2022, 23, 24. But in 2022, you'll get another raise as well. So it's basically a 5.9% raise for every month from here on out. But then in 2022, you'll get another raise on top of that. Okay. But there's also the Social Security raises that they're looking to do on top of that as an additional bonus. We have several different bills that the Democrats, and there's even some Republican support as well, to raise Social Security benefits on top of that. I think there's going to be a very big push in 2022 to raise that as well. Could be in the next stimulus package, or even could be a bipartisan bill to do that. There's even a lot of Republicans to possibly do that. And remember that right now, the way everything sits is that the Democrats can pass a bill in the House on their own. They don't need a single Republican vote. And you only need 10 votes in the Senate to pass a bill with Republicans. So Mitch McConnell kind of has a crew, as you've just seen there, that Mitch McConnell can kind of gather up votes on his own to kind of literally, he kind of has his own crew there. It's just kind of like the easiest way, his own like little posse to kind of his own like little his own little crew is the easiest way to get to gather. His own little like his buddies. They kind of all vote together in a little herd, and that's why whenever Mitch McConnell says that he backs it, he kind of gathers around 10 votes there. Sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 14 or so. Basically, if you kind of get Mitch McConnell behind something, you can pretty much almost gather that you're going to get around at least 10 votes, somewhere around there, right? Could be 9, could be 10, could be 14. And Mitch McConnell's definitely a senior, right? And he, you could kind of see him maybe backing something like that, right? Not necessarily, but I'm just kind of throwing some ideas out there. But you could kind of see maybe getting even some Republican support to raise Social Security benefits there as well. Even if not, Democrats could do it on their own through the reconciliation process. And remember, they get at least 2 more, I think, processes to pass in 2022. Democrats might just decide to do it on their own to send a message to the American people to say, hey, vote for us in the next midterm elections because the Democrats are going to try to retain the House and Senate next year. Of course, Republicans are going to say, no, 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 vote for us for the House and Senate. You know how the parties roll, right? It's just always vote for us. No, 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 vote for us. But nonetheless, I think that they're going to try to do a lot of that. Democrats are also trying to extend the child tax credit, those monthly payments that go out to like over 60 million children. It's like 40 million families. Of course, some families have more than one child. But remember that that last payment is going to go out on December 15th. There is going to be another payment that goes out after that on your tax return for the first 6 months of this year. But the last month, that's the first 6 months, $1,500 to $1,800, because the monthly payments didn't start till July. But there's not going to be a January 15th payment unless they pass this package here in July, or in July. Yeah, that was a brain just went pew. In December. If they don't pass it in December, there's probably not going to be enough time to get it out in January. Okay, so keep that in mind. I know a lot of people really need that money to pay for food and to pay for rent, and to pay for housing. Um, so I'm going to keep you up to date on everything here. There's a lot of different things in this next package that a lot of people are really hoping for: lowering the cost of prescription drug pricing, adding additional benefits onto Medicare, lowering the cost of childcare, all sorts of different things in this next package, paid family and medical leave. So make sure to subscribe down below. I'll keep you up to date with everything, as well as what's going on here in our country and everything that you need to know about in our economy. So make sure to subscribe down below. Literally just click subscribe. It's free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can click here to watch my newest video about those new Social Security raises coming out here, hopefully in the near future. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.